Okay, guys, we need to talk about Obi-Wan. Now, I tried really hard to stay out of the culture wars and the rest of the stuff that happened with Star Wars once Disney took over, but they won't let it be. And it's not just that. I think a lot of that stuff is obvious and, political, and things get ugly when you get into that. So I don't want to do a ton of that. But look, I think the worst part for me is the fact that Obi-Wan, the series, is just full of bad writing. It's full of bad acting. It's full of, let's say, disappointment. It's unfortunate. There were a couple moments that were decent, but I think that when you look at the series in terms of what it is, it's, well, more of the same. Disney, Star Wars, and to me, it's been a huge letdown. Now, I heard a hot take the other day from a friend of mine, and he said this. So what's up? Shout out to Derek if you're out there listening. He said that here's the hot take. Maybe Star Wars was just never that good, and they're dealing with a hot potato of not good that they're trying to resurrect into good. And, before you guys freak out on me, I think there's some merit to that because in terms of charm and character and in terms of, let's say, I don't know, maybe to the effect of Han Solo and Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, I think it's obvious that George Lucas and the casting hit a home run back in the late 70s, early 80s. And part of that is what makes Star Wars great. Think about it this way. If you had taken Star Wars and filmed the entire thing exactly like it is, just replaced Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, things would be quite a bit different, wouldn't it? And I think that's what we need to look at here. And regarding, of course, this whole Grand Inquisitor stuff and, well, the story arc and trying to develop characters, brand new characters in a 6-episode miniseries, I think we have a problem here, okay? And specifically, I think the problem becomes that there's not enough time. And so you can't take let's say a new character, put him or her into a central role, and also develop said character alongside other long-standing heroes of the galaxy and expect the new character to just sort of take over, develop a meaningful story arc, and of course then be able to launch a spin-off, which again is going to be their goal. And if you guys haven't seen this, again, this is pretty bad the way this starts because we're expected to believe that this individual here is a bad person, all right? And well, if you're going to be a bad person and your story arc is to redeem, and again, spoilers and all the rest of that, so nobody freak out here. I'm assuming you guys have seen this. But if you have an actual story arc in regard to a bad person that was a good person, that witnessed tragedy and tried to redeem said tragedy by joining the exact, let's say regime that brought about that tragedy, and then let's say hurt people to get close, to get revenge, well, it makes you just as much a monster as it did Vader or Anakin or any of the rest, right? And again, it's complicated, I know. Many of these things are complicated, but this is why you can't get a brand new character and simply throw her in the middle of everything and expect her to carry the entire story arc with the development of change, at least meaningful change. I don't know. I've got a lot to say about this because there's so much in this series that was, like I said, very disappointing, very plot hole oriented, and of course, just bad. It's a lot of bad, and it's unfortunate, but because I can talk about Book of Boba Fett and some other things too. There were some moments in there that seemed okay, but for the most part, when you're looking at this and the way Star Wars has gone in the last decade since Disney took over, it's disappointing. I don't know. What do you guys think regarding Obi-Wan? I just finished it yesterday or the day before, and so I'd like to say I'm split. But I'm very disappointed, and the new characters and these story arcs, and give me some of the more Grand Inquisitor, right? He took a bit part in this, and from the animated series, he was a pretty badass dude, and well, now he just gets shanked and comes back, and Oh, I don't know. It's just a little bit of this is embarrassing in that, we've got the whole Qui-Gon bit where he got stabbed. And then we've got, this guy and he gets stabbed and he just gets up and apparently walks away. We get, apparently getting stabbed by a lightsaber is no big deal anymore. And that's a problem. Poor Qui-Gon, right? One of my favorite Star Wars characters, even though, the prequels, we can get into that if you want to talk about that stuff too. But at some point, right? Like you can't just throw everything out and say that the new breed of characters, because we say so, can just take a lightsaber stab through the gut and then limp around like almost nothing happened. It's embarrassing, it's ridiculous, and it's just another example of why Disney doesn't get Star Wars, and they should. And like I said, embarrassing. So more of this to come. I can break down full-on episodes, or what are you guys interested in? Because there's a lot to talk about. I'm an old schooler, an 80s kid. I grew up with the original Star Wars and the original cast, and there was some good stuff back then. Like I said, some charming characters, some decent writing, and some goofy moments, right? So as long as you've got a good story and some charming characters, you can stick in some goofy moments. But the second you start using the goofy moments to kind of carry a whole series, or carry an episode, things become different. Okay, so anyway, what do you think about Obi-Wan? Do you think it was worth watching, or do you think it was just a hot pile of flaming garbage? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and what kind of stuff you'd like me to cover. If you like Star Wars talk and other Zeitgeist talk too, I could do Marvel and some other things, because I read a lot of those comics back in the day. So it's interesting how things have changed and people are interested in comics and Star Wars and all the rest when you used to be a nerd. So anyway, don't forget to please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll have more stuff coming very soon. Thanks for watching.